Hey YouTube fam, what's up? It's Patrick. Welcome to a hip mobility, hip stretching, hip movement based practice. We'll get our groove on today in a bit more of a subtle way. Of course, there'll be some intense moments, but I really hope this is a practice that you can come back to really at any time of the day that just kind of helps you feel good, helps you loosen up, and helps prepare you for whatever you have going on next. As always, before we begin, new classes are coming your way all the time, so please subscribe to the channel, become part of the crew, support the cause, and if you enjoy this little session, hit the like button and let me know how it went for you in the comments. It is always cool to hear from each and every one of you. So to start out today, go ahead and step your feet out a little bit wider than your hips, sit on your butt, bring your fingertips behind your back, and then just drop the knees to the right and to the left. And one of the things I like to do here to bring in an element of the breathing is on the drops, I exhale, and on the lifts of the legs, I inhale. So there's a nice little ebb and flow to moving from space to space. That also helps me sync my breath and my movement together in a really digestible and very synchronized way. So find a good groove here. As you get more and more comfortable, you can, of course, lift your hands off the ground, but this is the beginning of class and we're just kind of warming everything up. So give yourself some space to find some freedom in these movements and allow yourself the opportunity to step away from the pressure to do more or less and just lean into, waking your body up, if you will. Cool. As you finish there, swing around towards the top of your mat. Go ahead and bring the outer edge of your right foot in between your hands. You can be on your fingertips here. Push into your back left big toe, and then pull your right knee wider, and then lift it up. So you're just kind of pulling the knee out to the side, really working the external rotation. Try to activate your right glute. Getting a good bounce going here. So we're starting this with a decently dynamic opening. You can consider this to be like oiling the joints, if you will. Just waking things up with enough purpose for you. You can go really deep here if you want. Either way, try to let these movements come from your hips as much as possible by having a long spine. Hold your lowest position, walk your hands out a step or two, and then sway forwards and backwards. Try to lead with your belly button. Then lower your left knee to the floor. Step your right foot wide, but the right foot land. Place your palms down on the floor. You can keep your left knee down or you can lift it up and then circle the shoulders over the wrists as you dig into your right hip from this angle. So now we're playing in completely different space, opening things up, still trying to keep the long spine. And you may even be feeling a good amount of work here in your back left leg, which is always really nice. Go ahead and push the palms down a little bit more. Hold your deepest spot here. And then step back to a cross-legged downward facing dog. Right pinky toe meets left pinky toe, and your right calf meets your left shin. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Bend the knees and just let your upper body soak over your legs. Let it waterfall down. Feel a stretch in your left hamstring. Dig your right big toe into the floor as you melt. You can walk your hands over to the right side a little bit. And then over to the left side a little bit. Slowly return to center. Fold a little bit deeper. And then inhale, roll all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up to the sky, catch your left wrist with your right hand. You can step your left foot further over to the right side if you choose, and then just pull across slightly here. So you're getting into your side body just a bit. Gently return to center and fold all the way down. Unwrap your legs, drop your knees to the floor. Walk your hands forward and then swing your left foot out in between the hands. Hop onto the fingertips, outer edge of left foot pins down, and then pull your left knee wide and close. So you're opening through the hip and then closing, just creating a nice little bit of movement here. Working into your left leg, creating some space. Finding a bounce and a buoyancy, but also just finding freedom in your movement. So none of this feels rushed. None of it feels like more than it needs to. You're just kind of noticing how at that end you can activate your glute and pull your knee just a little bit wider. That's the thing I really try to focus on here, is not just how deep am I going, but can I get active at that end spot to create more freedom of movement. You're here for about 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Hold your deepest spot. Walk your hands slightly forward. Maybe wiggle your right foot slightly back. And then begin to sway forwards and backwards. And as you sway forwards and backwards, you can almost think about your chest getting down towards your foot, but you're leading with your belly button. So that'll bring more work into your hips. It'll also help you hopefully lift your tailbone. So you're not just working external rotation, but you are also working into some hip flexion as well. Because for some of these deeper hip opening positions, we need rotation, but we also need flexion and extension, of course. Wherever you are, gently drop your right knee down, wiggle your left foot wider. Planting the left foot down. You can plant the hands down, keeping everything here, or of course lift your right knee off the ground and sway forwards and backwards, circle around. Just try to find some freedom in the movement. And again, as it comes to the breath, let the inhales pull you forward, let the exhales push you back. Hope it's starting to feel good into your legs, into your hips. Really nice way to wake up the body. From here, go ahead and plant your hands firmly down into the floor, and then step your left foot back to cross in front of your right for the cross leg downward facing dog. Slowly walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Lean into this fold. And find the length. So now you're in your right hamstring just a bit. You can walk your hands over to the left side, digging into your side body. You try to lift your right knee up into your right hip. And then walk your hands over to the right side, taking a few breaths there. Slowly bring your hands back to center, lean into the fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand, push hips forward, reach hands up to sky. Let your left hand catch your right wrist, step your right foot a little bit over to the left, pull and lean. And really try to create some movement through your side body here. Return to center. Fold down. Find your depth. Lean forward just a little bit. Bring your big toes to touch. Left foot swings back to a neutral position. Walk your hands out into your downward facing dog. And then from there, inhale, roll forwards into your plank pose. From your plank pose, walk your feet all the way up to your wrists, keeping shoulders stacked on top of wrists. Getting a little bit of core work there. And then walk back to plank. Finding that push, activation, space, and strength. Go ahead and take a push up. Let your knees and forearms drop. Inhale, pull yourself into upward facing dog, curving your chest out. And as you get into your upward facing dog, wiggle around. Roll your right hip towards the floor. Roll your left hip towards the floor. Really let this feel good. And then wave up and back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your right shin forward. Pigeon pose. So first, set yourself up in the pigeon you would normally take and fold forward. Drop down and in. Find a few breaths here. Maybe even rotate your spine. That's something I really like to do. It helps me get a bit more length in the position, so my chest twists towards my right knee, and my right shoulder rolls up. If you want more out of the position, press your right shin down into the floor and see if you can get a little bit longer through your skull. And slowly walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Kick the outer edge of your right foot into the floor. Lift your right knee up slightly, and then just work into your hips a little bit. So take that swaying that we did before, but now you're in a bit more of a traditional position, a position you've played in at other times. As you finish there, set your right shin down. Bump your left knee up behind your right ankle or the outer edge of your right foot. Lift your hips, get tall, lift your skull, and then sit your hips back towards your left heel. Feel how deep you can go here, and then rise up. That's 1, 2. We'll do 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this one, sit all the way down to the floor. As your hips land, lean to the right side, lift your left leg up, swing it around. Kick it towards your face, get along behind your left leg as much as possible. And then set your left leg down on the floor, right foot to inside of left leg. You fold into Janu Shirshasana. Melting down and in. Use the pull to help you bring sensation and awareness into the stretch. And know that if you're pulling but the sensation isn't improving, you're pulling too much. You can always lift your seat. That could potentially improve the geometry of the shape. You can always remember that putting the proper amount of effort for you into this position is what you're looking for. No more, no less. Inhale, rise up. Cross your left shin in front of your right shin, lifting up here, inhale. And then exhale, fold forward, dropping down. See if you can fold just a little bit deeper. Lean your skull out. Inhale, rise up. Lean to your left side, lift your right leg out, and then take your right ankle above your left knee, double pigeon. Boom. So now you're sitting in your variation of double pigeon. And if your right knee is to the sky, that's fine. Mine's definitely been there many times, but hopefully with all that we've done, you're a bit more, this space, is a bit more available for you. And more importantly, you can feel a stretch here. If you want to make this easier for yourself, you can take your left foot closer to your right butt cheek. If you want to make it harder for yourself, you can bring your left foot further out. Just melt into this space. Find the softness, the lightness, the ease. Giving yourself permission to drop into the stretch, to drop into the space. Inhale, rise out. Unwind your legs. Straighten your right leg out in front of you. Bounce your legs a few times. Two options here. Paschimottanasana, forward fold, or L-sit. Place hands on the ground. Take the inhale to prepare. Exhale, push down, lift up for just 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Nice work. Take your right knee over your left, lean onto your left hip. Take your left foot back, setting up Gomukhasana in your legs. Sit down gently. And you could really be deep in your right hip here. So this could be plenty. If you want to add in more for that stretch, keep trying to pull your right hip back as you roll your left shoulder towards your right knee. If you want to get into your side body, you can reach your left arm over to the right. So whatever feels good to you here. You can lean into a sensation that feels nice. Find a space that's uniquely your own. And just give yourself permission to lean into this moment. Inhale, rise out. Find your way into passive squat, lifting up. Notice the difference between your right and your left sides. This middle line position is always a good reminder that we need to balance. From wherever you are, straighten your legs in folds, finding some space, some length. Inhale, roll yourself up to stand, push hips forward, reach hands to sky. Pull hands to heart center. Wherever you are, step to the top of the mat. Fold down. Place hands down. Step back to plank pose. Hamstring engagement and activation. Shoulders stack on top of wrists. Legs long engaged. Think you can only move from your hips. Slowly walk your feet up towards your thumbs. Try to make this take at least, 10, 15, maybe even 20 steps. Let the feet land, and then walk them back. Try to stay on the toes. Feel shoulders stacked on top of wrists. And again, of course, this is some upper body engagement, but it's also just helping us. Feel free to push back to dog or vinyasa, by the way. But that bit of strength really helps our body go into some of these deeper stretches with mindfulness and awareness and openness. Downward facing dog. Also, obviously, this stability. As you find down dog, really push, maybe drop into the shoulders for a moment. And then swing your left shin forward. Drop into your pigeon pose. And just like we did on the first side, let this one be really soft at first. You can add the twist. I want you to melt into the space. I want you to feel the passive stretch. Let your breath lengthen. Let everything be this balance of effort and ease as usual, but there's a real ease that you're experiencing. The effort is the organization. The ease is these moments. Lift yourself back up. Place your hands flat on the floor. Kick the outer edge of your left foot down. And then just begin to sway. Sway, sway. Again, long spine. Work different angles here. It's not about anything particular being right or wrong. It's just kind of trying to work around the space that you create. So it's like we created space. Now we're using it. We're normalizing it. We're familiarizing ourselves with it. Land your left shin back down. Bump your right knee behind your left ankle or the outer edge of your left foot. Holding here, hands on hips. Longest spine. Sit your hips back towards your right heel. Really try to sit back in space. And then lift up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And on this one, we sit all the way down to the floor. Lean to your left hip, swing your right leg up and around. Try to kick yourself in the face. Kick, 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 kick. And then land your right leg to the floor. Left foot to the inside of your right leg. Janu Shirshasana, you fold. Try to pull yourself forward enough so you feel a stretch through the back line of your right leg. So in some way, the bottom of your foot through the heel, Achilles tendon, calf, hamstring, mid back, lower back. It's this whole back line of the body. Inhale to rise. Cross your right shin in front of your left. Take a moment to set yourself up and fold. Sukhasana. We've cleared up a ton of the tension in your back body, so hopefully this feels really nice. Remember to breathe here. Let everything be soft and supported, calm and clear. Inhale to rise up. Lean into your right hip. Lift your left foot off the ground. Try to do this without your hands. Left ankle above your right knee. And then sink down to your double pigeon position. Really try to have your left ankle landing, not the outer edge of your left foot. Your left foot should be able to move freely here. Wiggle that around so you're not doing the work from your ankle. You see, like if I'm doing the work from my ankle, my left knee looks closer to my right foot, but I'm feeling significantly less stretch in the hip. It's more working around how I can not get movement from the ankle so that the rotation is coming more from the hip, and you can feel that in the sensations as you set it up. Of course, here you can stay upright, or you can fold into the position, whatever feels good to you. Give yourself a few breaths here. And again, if your left knee's up towards the sky, like this, you can just use your left hand to the outside of the knee and just push your knee into the hand. That will give you the opportunity to create more space. Inhale to rise out. Unwrap your legs, straighten them. You can shake them out if you want. Opportunity for, again, that forward fold, or, of course, your L-sit, hands to floor. Inhale to prepare, long through your legs. Exhale, straighten, lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Nice work. This time, take your left knee on top of your right knee. Bend your right knee, swing it back towards your left hip. Again, you could do that without your hands. It's always a nice place to play. And as you get here again, wiggle around, try to find the sensation. Maybe it's a side bend. Right hand reaches over your left shoulder, left hand or forearm finds the floor. Maybe you're creating a bit of a twist here, working into your left hip a bit more. That twist would be right shoulder towards left knee. And of course, you can lift the seat if you choose. You are really warmed up for this position. I know it's a big one, but the warm-up should hopefully make it feel a little bit more digestible. It should make it feel a little bit better. Inhale to rise up. Unwrap your legs. And then push yourself into your passive squat. Hopefully there's a lot of freedom here now. You can really sway side to side. You can lengthen your spine. Find a good amount of movement in this place. Try to roll to the outer edges of your feet just a little bit more. By pulling the knees apart, you're able to lift up, create length in your spine, find ease in your breath. And straighten your legs and fold, pivot your heels out to the sides. Square yourself to the top of the mat if you got off centered. And then walk back to your plank pose. From the plank pose, push into your thumbs. Slowly walk your feet forward to your thumbs. Take your time. Really get long through the back line of the body. Feel your core and hips engage. And then walk back. Walk back. Find your plank. Push your hips up and away, downward, facing dog. Bend your knees, sit your hips up towards the sky as much as possible. So the knees are almost allowing you to dive into the shoulders a bit more because you're getting that good bend, lift, lengthen. And then slowly drop your knees to the floor. Cross the ankles, sit over your seat. Find your way into Barakanasana or Tadasana. Feet either close to hips or a bit further away so your legs are shaped like a baseball diamond. And fold to the middle. And this will be our last position of the day. So if you want to have a pillow here in front of your legs, you can kind of drop down and into it a bit more. Soften. You can even stay in this place for an extended period of time if you choose. Your body's very prepared to be here, to lean into this space of relaxation and calm. And we move through a lot of different positions here with just enough activation to keep you plugged in, to keep you aware. And all that stuff matters. Those subtle changes, those subtle shifts make the biggest difference. And if you're somebody that's looking to improve your flexibility or your mobility, this is a nice class to come back to, especially if you're really tight with external rotation, because it's a lot of what we played with today, essentially. And it's classes like these or practices like these, sessions like these, however you want to say it, they're always reminders for me, plain and simple, just about doing the work. Because it's one of those things where you're either doing it or you're not, and that's a choice thing. Because by showing up for yourself, you're always going to improve. And for some of us, it's very easy to get flexible, very easy to get strong. And others, it's very hard to get flexible, very hard to get strong, very hard to get coordinated or create new movement in the body. So the only thing to that is just that if you show up for yourself, all of a sudden there's an opportunity and there's a space for change. you know, the mountain's not the mountain if you don't climb it, because if you already have that view, then it's something that you're used to. So setting yourself up, working through challenges, showing up for yourself, that's all part of growth, that's all part of connection, and creating a level of awareness and availability in your mindset, in your body, in your human experience. Any closing pose you would like after this session, feel free to take it. Maybe a Shavasana feels nice. You could be fatigued. If you're deep in that Tarasana fold, you can, of course, stay. Or, of course, you can move into an active practice or move along with your day. I hope you enjoyed this session, a bit different than what we do normally, but also a nice balance to all of the active flow and movement practices that we often share here on this channel. So again, y'all, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you had fun with this one. Have an amazing rest of your day. I look forward to practicing with you again very soon, and peace.